What is up, everybody? Drill88 here, and welcome back to another episode of Samurai Jack Episodic Vlogs, Episode 8, Sweet Christmas. Let's just call this episode Tension. Let's just skip all formalities. This episode is called Tension for all intents and purposes. So, let's just, we see the opening scene of what looks like a gigantic VCR flying through space, gets hit by some asteroids, then crash lands in the desert. Then afterwards, we have, Jack and Ashi at a, desert-looking, bazaar-like place, getting something to eat. There's a funny moment where Jack eats what looks like a shrimp, turns into a neon fish. Then, what happens next? They get on board what is the equivalent of a camel at walker. And they, board, and everything is fine. And, then these watermelon-headed, letter-sporting, Team Rocket-looking tiger people get on board. And they start crowding, and there's this cute little moment where they're, like, Jack and Ashi are both trying to hold on to the pole, and they do the awkward guy-girl, like, grab, take away, oh, I'm sorry, no, it's okay, blah, back and forth, and then it gets really, really crowded, and the joke, there's a joke made. I am not going to repeat it, but dear Lord, the writing on this episode is on point. Let me just go ahead and say that right now. The writing is amazing in this episode. After the cute moment is over, Jack starts to notice that the shirts are spelling stuff out, like he sees death. And then there's Die Samurai Jack, and then, everything breaks loose. Everyone starts fighting one another. Ashi and Jack are basically doing the tango while fighting everyone, and there's awkward holding moments, there's awkward, touching moments, but fight continues. Fight goes on. They decide to bail after a certain point, get out of the AT-AT camel walker, and escape, essentially. So, now they are wandering in the desert. As they're wandering in the desert, eventually they find this oasis area. Jack makes them hats. It looks really cool. Then, the next scene, there's a big sandstorm going on. They lose the hats, which is terrible because I really like hats. It's really disappointing. But they find the big metal VCR in the desert. So, they take shelter in big metal VCR. So they begin to explore giant metal VCR from space and discover that it's built a lot like a prison. And they start exploring the prison, and then Ashi gets bit by a blue leech, and this green stuff starts seeping into her. Jack does the suck out the poison thing, which only amps up the tension a little bit more. They start trying to find their way out of, or start exploring the place a bit more, and then eventually they run into, or at least hear, this big bad sound, and then they start trying to find their way out, and they just get turned around, goes through what looks like an impossibly arranged area, I think some dimension bending's going on. They keep on running, and they make it to a really large holding area. And they're like, well, I think we need to get out of here. And then all these blue leeches start coming in. And they build this gigantic golem of leeches. And Jack starts fighting them off. Ashi gets away. Leeches split off and go after her. She starts picking up glass shards, using them as shuriken. Still not enough. They get away again, and eventually make it to a room where it lets them in because they are not prisoners. And it is a weapon stash. And Jack finds this one thing that is built specifically to fight the leech monster, who's named Lazarus, by the way. And he's listening to the instructions, and he's like, once this is introduced, please follow this following procedure. And Ashi like shoots a gun and like melts part of the wall, breaks his attention. Then he goes back and is like, and that's how you defeat the monster. Please follow this instruction carefully. So he has this Destructo disc thingy that he does not know how to work. And Ashi gets a double-edged, I honestly don't know what you call that weapon that she has, but it looks like the end of a spear, only the size of a sword, and it's two of them connected to a stick. I don't know what it's called, but she has one of those glaive stabby thingies and a shield. She starts, they start down the hallway again. Lazarus comes up. She starts defending. Jack starts trying to get the thing to work. He has no idea how it works, and they're just kind of like surviving at this point. And tosses it to Ashi. Jack's defending her. Leeches split off again, and then they get to Ashi, attack her. She gets them off, but not after she's now buck naked. And poor Jack, just his face. Oh, it is so funny. His face is just like, oh, nope, can't, nope, not doing this, nope. And Ashi don't care. Ashi's like totally down for whatever. She's naked fighting this least monster, and it's anime style, like things perfectly in the way to keep the naughty bits from being seen. But oh man, it's funny. Poor Jack's being distracted. He gives her his gi, says it'll protect you, and they start trying to fight it again. Jack gets the device, says hold him off as long as possible. Lazarus splits into a whole bunch of different forms, and Ashi's trying to defend them. He finally gets it to work, but then they could get consumed by the leeches. They're both covered in leeches, and then all of a sudden, kaboom! Lightning bomb thingy goes off and destroys all the leeches. They're suffering through it. I mean, I don't know why I felt like the expression on their face reminded me of one being stuck and being popped like popcorn. Just, I don't know why that showed up, but random thought is random. They survive the onslaught of the electricity. The gooey stuff fades away. All of the leeches are now dead. They're standing there in the aftermath. Lots of heavy breathing. Lots of over-the-shoulder glancing at one another. And then, boom! Ending scene. I am not going to spoil it because go out and watch this freaking episode. Oh my gosh. The fans did rejoice. And thank you for not stringing us along, oh creator of Jack Samurai person thingy. Oh man, this episode was great. Dear Lord, was it full of tension though. So cannot wait for the next episode. Enjoyed this one immensely. Get out there, watch it. Drill88, signing out.